Good morning, and welcome to Cox Media Houston's Public Affairs Show, FYI. My name is Suzi Hanks. Today we're talking about a wonderful event that's coming up in Sugar Land this week and the wonderful organization that it is going to be promoting. And so with us today, we have Jana Brown from Jana Brown Center Stage. Good morning, Jana.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here so much. And David Wallace, who is the former mayor of Sugar Land. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Susie. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much.
Good.
And thank you for coming in here. So this is a very interesting story, and we're going to be talking about a great event that's coming up this Wednesday. But first of all, David, I want you to tell me there is a this organization called Arms Wide Open, and they help do a lot of things for childhood cancer. And you got involved with them through a relationship that you have, which kind of gave life to this wonderful fundraising event that's coming up. So let's start with that, David. Tell me about how this all began with you and your daughter, Reese.
I sure will. Let me tell you a little bit more about Arms Wide Open. Start there, and then I'll.
Well, let's talk about that, and then we'll talk about Arms Wide Open, if that's all right.
Oh, you want to talk about?
Tell me about Reese and the whole how this all started.
My daughter, 10-year-old, who loves dancing, and her cousin, a girl by the name of Gabi, Shull, out of Kansas City. When she was 9 years old, basically was diagnosed with cancer. And so as a result of that, she had the traditional chemotherapy and radiation therapy, but unfortunately they had to amputate her leg. And so they did something that is called rotation plasty, which is pretty bizarre, but what they do is they cut the foot off about 6 inches above the ankle. And then they also cut the leg above the knee, and they basically use the ankle joint as a knee joint. So literally, they sew the foot on backwards. And
wow, that's first of all, that's kind of amazing.
It is amazing, and if you stop and think, it's kind of counterintuitive. But what that does is that gives somebody, when they put on a prosthetic leg, it gives them mobility. It gives them a joint that they can continue to walk. So instead of sliding a leg, they basically have the ability of bending a knee. And I think the unique thing about this is one of the things that Gabi loves to do is dance. You've
got a family of dancers there.
We have a family of dancers. She has sisters that dance with her as well. And I think that was one of the driving things that helped her to get through this very difficult situation. And so as a result of that, she is now the national spokesperson for Arms Wide Open Childhood Cancer Foundation. She's the national spokesperson for the Truth 365, which is really a movement for the Arms Wide Open Childhood Cancer Foundation.
Yeah. Now, Gabi is pretty famous because of this unique surgery that she had, and if you Google her, Gabi Shull, Shull, you'll find lots of information about out there. But what's interesting is because they did this unique operation on her, right, and her foot is backwards, the foot fits into a prosthetic so that she can continue dancing.
Correct.
That was kind of the whole reason why it all.
Right, and not just dance. She can tap dance, she can be on point, she can do jazz, she can do all of the different methods of dance, which I think is fabulous. And when you watch her, you would never know that she has a prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous watching her dance.
She is how old now?
She's 15 now.
And she was diagnosed when?
When she was 9 years old.
When she was 9. And she's gone through, and she's cancer-free.
She's cancer-free, yes.
That's an amazing, incredible story. And your daughter, Reese, is cousins with her. And she's a dancer as well. And she dances with Jana Brown with Center Stage, right, Jana?
Yes, she's a part of our company.
Tell me a little bit about Reese.
Reese is an adorable 10-year-old. She's smarter than her years. She decided, they came to me and said that Gabi was going to be in town. And they were like, well, can she come and do like a motivational talk to our company? And of course, we were so excited about her coming because all of the girls have been watching her on YouTube, and it's just so inspiring, her story. And so we wanted her in, and then it kind of just morphed into the idea of, well, let's do some more for her organization. and really give back and show her how excited we are to see her and how inspired we are. So it started into our show that we're going to have on the 3rd. And it's just been wonderful how we've had so many people come together, and all of our community is so supportive of bringing her in and watching her dance.
Well, we are talking with Jana Brown, Center Stage, and David Wallace, the former mayor of Sugar Land, whose daughter is in the Jana Brown Center Stage Company, and we're talking about this event that is coming up. So what is the name of the event?
Dance, Hope, Cure.
Dance, Hope, Cure. And tell me where it is and when it is again.
It is August 3rd at 7 o'clock, and it's in the atrium of the new Gallery Furniture in Richmond, Texas.
And which is a wonderful place. It's gorgeous
beautiful.
there.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous. We'll be in the atrium, which is amazing just to come out and see that, let alone all of the dancing and everything else we'll have going on.
And for those that have not seen the atrium, when you go in there, it's about 50,000 square feet. It's air conditioned, so it's not just an open air type of atrium. It's got the second largest living wall in the United States, which is a grass plant wall. It's green with shrubs and bushes. It's incredible. It's 4 or 5 stories tall. It's amazing. But when you go in there, there's everything from a terrarium to aviary, fish pond. They've got I don't know whether it's a tiger or lion or bears, I don't know, but they've got animals that are enclosed. It's right. A gorgeous facility.
In Mattress Mac, typical Mattress Mac style, he's gone over the top with this place, Gallery Furniture, and they're one of the sponsors of the event.
They are, yeah.
And then the funds raised from the event are going to Arms Wide Open, the charity.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. And so tell me how much it is. How do you raise the funds? Are there tickets? Do you have to buy ahead of time? Is there a website?
Yes, the tickets are $25, and we do have a website. It's www.dancehopecureevent.org. And so you can go online and purchase your tickets, and that's a good way to get on. We also will be taking tickets at the door, and then we have an amazing silent auction going on as well that evening. Okay. So as you're there as well, you'll be able to bid on all kinds of interesting things.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit more about the event a little bit later on this morning as we go on, and some of the wonderful things and the wonderful people who are going to be dancing and the things that people will be able to see. But let's talk a little bit about now Arms Wide Open. It is a charity that does a lot of fundraising for research that goes on all across the country, but they do a lot here in Texas and in Houston. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the organization itself, in a very similar situation, back in 2008, a husband and wife, Dina and Billy Sherwood, they had an 18-month-old son that was diagnosed with cancer. And quite honestly, I've never been through that. I can't put myself in that position, but I can only imagine when a mom and a dad hear the story about your son or your daughter has cancer, and this is what you have to deal with. The treatment for childhood cancer is very aggressive, and while their son Billy was going through this treatment in 2009, Dina decided to basically form the Arms Wide Open Childhood Cancer Foundation. And you're exactly right. It's not just a foundation that spreads public awareness about different things. They raise money, and in the last 4 or 5 years, they've raised about $3 million that have gone into basically research as it relates to these different type of treatments. They've got an application process where they can get different physicians, different scientists that will come to them. They've got this board of highly acclaimed physicians. In fact, one of the physicians is out of Texas Tech, out in Lubbock, and basically overseeing all their cancer research as well. They make decisions, they make investments in these different type of cancer research programs. So they've been doing a lot of that. But I think what they're also doing, I don't know if you are aware of this, but when you take a look at the National Cancer Institute, the NCI, they fund over $5 billion of cancer research, which is wonderful. It's needed, and that's really funded by the U.S. government. But what I think is amazing and astonishing is only 4% of that funding goes into research for childhood cancer.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of treatments for children are based on adults, and right. There's something wrong there.
There is. Nobody would ever want to say that someone's life is worth more or better or anything. Everyone's life is valuable and precious. But nevertheless, when you stop and you think about only 4%, so part of the advocacy that they're doing, of course, is dealing with Congress, dealing with the NCI, trying to get more research dollars that would be spent in this. But they're also funding things themselves. And just this last week, I remember on Wednesday of this last week, the Ice Bucket Challenge. They were talking about the millions of dollars that it raised. And you stop and you think, well, all right, well, if they're only investing $3 million in cancer research, what impact is that going to have if you've got the NCI doing over $5 billion? Well, as a result of the Ice Bucket Challenge, this last week they announced that they now have a cure.
Well, they've identified a gene.
That
could lead to a cure.
Well, but when you stop and you
that's
think
a big
about
deal.
It's a huge deal.
And it's made possible because of that one thing.
And, for people saying, well, what is my $25 going to go for? That may have been the $25 that pushed the Ice Bucket Challenge over the edge to find that gene. And that's the same thing that we're talking about here. And I will tell you that as a result of this fundraiser that we have going on this coming Wednesday, 100% of these dollars that are raised are going solely for research. It's not going to fund administration. It's not going to fund advocacy. It's going to fund research. And that's something that we're very proud of.
Yeah. Can you tell me? I know that that Arms Wide Open has donated directly here to I think it's MD Anderson and also to the Texas area. Can you talk a little bit about that?
You're exactly right. Now, one of the things that they have is that they've got, call it a division, if you will, which is called the Truth 365. And the Truth 365 is really part of an awareness campaign. So what they're doing through the Truth 365, there's a gentleman by the name of Mike Gillette, who is actually the executive director, and he was down here. He's a tremendous cinematographer, photographer. He's a great advocate for cancer research as well. And he has made different documentaries, different promotional type of pieces, and has actually won 4 Arms Wide Open campaign, 7 Emmy Awards as a result of this. So he reaches out and brings a lot of the families that are going through this crisis. Out in Sugar Land, 2 weeks ago, we were sitting down with a girl that's going through this, and what the type of advocacy, the programs, the bereavement issues, the prayer issues, all of these different types of things, in addition to the research, are the type of programs that Arms Wide Open and the Truth 365 are advocating for. And so all of the different type of promotional pieces that we have, the Dance Hope Cure ambassadors, which are young girls that are basically dancers that are out there trying to raise awareness and trying to raise funds. And I think that's one of the biggest stories that we have in this event. And I applaud Jana for being the motivation to be able to get all of her dancers. So you've got 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old girls that are the leaders of this event. So it truly is the youth of today helping the youth of today.
And so I know that the Arms Wide Open does a lot of funding for the Truth 365, which is all the promotional and the movies and things like that.
That's
that raises
correct.
a lot of awareness. But they also do research specifically in Texas, in our area. Can you talk about that? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, there's a number of programs. And actually, if you went to the Arms Wide Open Cancer Foundation, there's a listing of the different types of research projects that have been done. And I think the benefit here is that it may be a research project that MD Anderson's working on that might be a $500,000 research project that this foundation may not be able to fund 100% of it, but they're very good at being able to leverage their dollars and to be able to fund those entire programs. And again, I think if you were to look at the website, there's 17 or 18 different research programs that they did just in the last 12 months alone.
Yeah, Texas A&M has gotten some of the money. MD Anderson has gotten some of the money as well.
Correct.
So, but it is going to other organizations across the country, but also here locally, which is, I think, important to a lot of people, isn't it?
It is. And again, we've all been involved in different charity events where there's a lot of the funds that we're raising are not necessarily staying in our community and going for the research. They're going for other type of things. In this situation, 100% of those dollars are going for research right here.
Yeah. We are talking with Dave Wallace, who is the former mayor of Sugar Land, Jana Brown with Jana Brown Center Stage, and this event that's coming up this Wednesday. And again, for people just tuning in, David, your daughter Reese is a dancer. She's a dancer with Jana Brown Center Stage, and also her cousin is Gabi Shull, who is the spokesperson for Arms Wide Open, who's been through cancer, who's had this amazing operation, and she's cured, and now she's able to keep dancing. And this love of dance is she's kind of turning around and using it to help the organization again, I guess, coming full circle. Let's talk about the event again. Jana, you wanted to tell me this is going to be pretty impressive. This isn't a little recital with kids who've been taking a class for a couple of months, is it? Tell me about it.
This has gotten a lot fancier than that.
Yeah.
We will be having our dancers, our company Jana Brown Center Stage, and then we also have some professional dancers coming in, and we also have our local professional company, Met Dance. We are so proud to have them involved. They will be doing a piece at the show. Then we also have Eve Mason out of Los Angeles, California. She is the co-director of the Velocity Dance Convention. She will be performing as well as help throughout the event. And then we have Alex Blitzstein, and Alex will be performing. He has danced with Disney. He's danced in numerous commercials and tours, and he will be performing as well as he is choreographing. It's supposed to be kind of a surprise, but we'll give you the surprise a little bit. A surprise finale of our dancers with Gabi as well as her sisters.
Oh.
So it's going to be a get everyone on their feet and excited and ready to go at the end of the evening. He will be coming in. They're both coming in on Sunday, and we are going to get this choreography done in a matter of a couple of days for this finale and get it all put together and out on stage. It's going to be really awesome to see it all come together. We also have the Fort Bend Symphony playing at 7 o'clock. They will be providing the music and entertainment while we have looking at our silent auction, and we'll have wonderful hors d'oeuvres provided by Gallery. We also have 2 local dance studios that will also be performing. Allegro West will be performing, and they are out of Katy, and their dancers are amazing. We're thrilled to have them. And then we also have Kingwood Jazz Dance Company out of Kingwood. So, yeah.
It's going to be quite a night.
It is.
And so what I guess what I want to know is the professional dancers are coming in to lend their support here.
Yes.
And they're kind of intermingling with the students.
Exactly. And so many, that's what's so exciting to have Eve and Alex specifically here, because they are known all over the nation for these dance conventions that a lot of our students go to. They, and like I said, Eve is a co-director of one, Velocity. And so you don't really get to see them and spend a lot of time with them when you're at these dance conventions. And like I said, Eve will be there the whole evening, getting to meet all the students that are there and really getting to, mingle with them. It'll be really nice for them.
And again, where are the tickets available?
They are available on our website, www.dancehopecureevent.org.
Now, can people donate to this without going to the dance recital? Because it's in Sugar Land. A lot of people listening, that's a long way for them to go.
Most definitely. in a word, yes, they can. And also at the website that Jana talked about, the dancehopecureevent.org website, there's a Donate Now button that people can click on. To the extent that people have silent auction items, we would welcome those as well. Granted, the event's going to be in a couple days here on Wednesday, but I think one of the unique things that Jana was talking about is later on today, the dancers, Eve and Alex, are going to be coming in, and so our dancers, these girls, are going to be seeing this dance for the first time today. and they'll be performing it on Wednesday. And that's the thing that always amazes me about Jana and her talent, is to be able to motivate and inspire these girls to be able to do this in such a short period of time. And I think one of the highlights of this event as well, prior to this finale, Gabi is basically going to speak. And the official name is Dance, Hope, Cure, An Evening with Gabi Shull. So I think everyone that will be there will be inspired by her faith, by her inspiration, and the drive that she has, and her family will be there as well, including grandparents and everyone else that's flying in for this. This is going to be a big event. What started out as Jana mentioned, as a very small, let's get 20 or 30 of our girls together to hear a very motivational talk, we're now expecting about 1,000 people to come out. And Jana's correct. Brick and Mortar is the restaurant that is within the gallery furniture there in Richmond, Texas, on the Grand Parkway. Their food is incredible, and their donation, their support. I think everyone in this Houston community knows that Mattress Mac and Linda McInvale are some of the most benevolent people, and their support of this, there's no way that we would be able to do this if it were not for their support.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit more about Arms Wide Open, because we've talked about the funding of the research that they do, and also starting this movement, how they've really raised awareness because of the lack of funds that are spent on childhood cancer. They also do a lot of things to help families throughout the U.S. who are going through this. Can you tell me a little bit about the things that they do? I know that they do a lot of support things for them.
They do. They have different types of events that take place throughout the year as well. Some of the things that they're doing from a supporting of families, they do a program called First Step Forward, First Step Toward Healing, which is a webinar series that they do. They basically have done different integrative wellness nights with the Ronald McDonald House throughout the U.S. They have monthly grants for families that are suffering a hardship as a result of this. They've got a program, it's called Hope and Healing, which is a bereavement retreat that they actually have coming up in October of this year. And it's sad. Unfortunately, not everybody survives this disease. And so the bereavement, the prayer programs that they have are extremely important. And I think that's one of the great pieces of this organization is it's very well-rounded. It's not just focusing on research, not just focusing on advocacy or education programs, which they do, but obviously the bereavement, the webinar type of series that they're funding is extremely important. And
and that's so important because the survival rate really truly for cancer is not it's not great. 1 out of 5.
That's correct.
Will pass, and that's so frustrating because childhood cancer affects kids out of the blue. There's no prevention for it in many cases. It's just something that happens, and it's not rare.
You're correct, and it is tragic. It is sad. And over the next 12 months, over 15,000 youth in our community will be diagnosed with cancer, and that's about 175,000 people worldwide. And we live in a global world, and we should be doing everything that we can. It's not just isolated to the lives here in the United States. So this type of research, and it's not just research as to how to try to find a cure, but some of the treatments are very aggressive, and you know we've all seen pictures of children that have gone through this. It has a really hard impact on them, their lives, their families, and anything that we can do to help to find a cure or better, less toxic treatments. Are things that we as human beings should be trying to do.
Yeah. We are talking with Dave Wallace, who is the former mayor of Sugar Land, and Jana Brown with Jana Brown Center Stage about this Dance Hope Cure event that is coming up on Wednesday and the Arms Wide Open charity that it is supporting. And talking about childhood cancer, a lot of... when adults are cured of cancer, oftentimes you're cured of cancer. You have to keep on top of it, but you have a successful cure. But for children, that's not necessarily the case, is it? They often spend their whole lives fighting other repercussions of it.
They do. The recidivism that they have as a result of childhood cancer, the other implications, and there are statistics that are actually on the website for this event, where you can see the impact, and they basically have done a number of studies from, first of all, the children that are diagnosed between birth and the age of 19, but then their impact, and the mortality rate is high, not always because of the cancer, but because of other complications and other things. But they've looked at that all the way until the children reach the age of 30, and it's a significant number, and it's sad.
You know, when you hear this and you hear about the lack of federal funding, that's just outrageous.
It is.
Yes.
It is, and I think that's one of the things that that really inspired my daughter. In fact, we talked about this, and you know, we've got other folks that are helping from a communication standpoint, and we sat down over lunch one time, and we talked about, all right, this is great. There's a story of Gabi and her inspiration. We have the story of youth helping youth. We have all of these different things. And a 10-year-old girl, the message that she wanted to impart to the world is the fact that only 4% of the federal funding that goes toward cancer research goes to childhood cancer. And for a 10-year-old to basically say, that's the message that I want to make sure that people are left with, that's pretty impactful.
Yeah. Jana, David, tell me what exactly did your daughter Reese go to you, Jana, or how did this actually kind of blossom into what it's become?
Yes, Reese came to me with the idea of first having Gabi in, and then it was us kind of sitting down in the lobby, very informal, and going, okay, well, that's great, but she's so special. Let's get her to impact the rest of the dancers in our community. And so we just thought, you know, maybe in studio, or we'll try to find a venue. And, you know, this is really rushed because we started talking about this, probably in June, at the beginning, end of May. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculously how quickly this all came together, but it also
sometimes
shows,
when the fire is lit,
I think
goes.
Exactly. And I think that what happens, which we found out, is that we've had so many people that have been such a blessing to getting this all together, but it's because their lives have been directly affected by this. And so they're wanting to put their time and their effort and their money to help facilitate something that will hopefully inspire a lot of these kids. So back to what happened though with Reese, she came to us. We talked about the event, and I said, okay, well, we have a recital about to come, but let's talk about this. And we found the venue, and gallery was so awesome with us. And then I started talking to a lot of my friends in the dance community, and Met Dance. You know, they signed on and said, of course, we'll come and, you know, perform. And then it moved to, well, we need to have a really neat choreographer for the ending, you know, finale. And Alex, I would just send the video of Gabi over to any of my friends that are professionals, and they immediately were like, we want to be part of this. I mean, Alex moved. He had a lot of work at this time of the year. All of these choreographers are getting everybody's dances ready for the new season. He pushed everything aside, is coming in out of the kindness of his heart to come in and do this because he's so moved, and he wants to meet Gabi as well. You know, it's a lot of us, we can't imagine, I can't imagine. I think about her constantly, that especially being at her young age, when you're dancing, you always feel like somebody else is going to catch up to you, or, you know, you're always concerned about your peers and, you know, different things. And she had to learn how to move again, just move. And then she found her grace again as a dancer. I mean, it's just so inspiring. And you look at it and go, gosh, I don't know if I could have done that. And whenever, you know, my body is starting to feel something, or, you know, whatever, I just kind of think of Gabi and go, you need to push ahead, you know, let's get it going. And so I think that's where, especially a lot of the professionals in our industry, you know, we know how hard of a struggle dancing is, and how you have to love it in order to make it. And the fact that she has found that spark at such a young age is amazing.
What an incredible role model, and what a great role model for your daughter, David, for Reese to have this wonderful person in her life. Did Reese come up with this herself, or
yes,
did you?
She did.
She felt compelled at the age of 10 to do something like that.
She did. This whole thing is her idea, and that's why I'm amazed in a very positive way to see somebody. I think Jana made the comment that she's educated and so much older than she truly is. She's a 10-year-old daughter, but she's an old soul, and I mean that in a very positive way when it comes to compassion and caring about things like this. And then when Jana started talking to many of these dancers, you said it correctly. This is not just a little dance recital where you've got a 5-year-old girl out there in a tutu. These are dancers that have choreographed music videos for the J-Los of the world and have done So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars. These are top-notch folks that are out there. And Jana just made a comment a second ago that she thought that this would be something that we should open up to the dance community at large in Houston, and it's far beyond that. We've got so many other cancer organizations, nonprofits, foundations, the MD Andersons, the Memorial Hermans, that we've got people that have bought tickets that have said, I can't make it, but give my ticket to a family that needs this.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very inspirational.
Great. Well, one more time, the website to get tickets to go to the Dance Hope Cure.
It's dancehopecureevent.org.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you both for coming in, David Wallace and Jana Brown. And my name is Suzi Hanks, and you've been listening to FYI.